Hello everyone, my name is Alber Fredson and I am Programming Language Research Intern at sesuatu. So as you have seen in this big screen, what I'll be talking about today is how Gara initializes its object. So what I want to tell you here is that as a programmer, we not only need to know how to write a code, but we also need to know how a programming language like Gara actually understands what you write and how it creates an object behind the scenes. So let me have a quick introduction. As I've mentioned earlier, my name is Alber Fredson and I am currently 21 years old and studying at Jakarta, particularly at Binus University, partaking CS or Computer Science major. So maybe you have heard me mentioning about Gara, but what is actually Gara? So basically, Gara is an open source programming language with syntax in Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian syntax to make it easy to understand, learn, and use. So what makes the Gara unique and differ from other programming language is that if you have noticed, all programming language have English-based syntax. So whether you are from country ABC, you need to learn English to have this to learn programming language. But with Gara, as Indonesian, we can learn like basic syntax functions using Gara, using our daily language, which is Indonesia. And then after that, if you want to adapt and change to other programming language like Python, C, C++, and any other programming language, we can easily switch and adapt to that. So in this page, I have prepared a simple code in which we need to iterate from 0 to 10, or under 10, which is 9 as integer, in which every step will be added by 1. And then after that, we need to print the count which has been initialized earlier. So first we initialize the count equal to 0 and then we iterate, and after that we print. So if you see, the difference between Java programming language and Gara is actually similar and maybe the same, but it's just differ from the language of the function. For example, in Java we have let, but in Gara we add just 2 ada. And for Java we have for, in Gara we add just 2 dari. After that, in Java, print is console.log. In Gara we just simply type cetak, and it just prints the same result. So one of Gara's design principles is that everything is in object, including functions, classes, numbers, and so on. And why does that matter? Because it allows us to apply the same logic across different data types. We can call methods on anything, and that makes the interpreter's design more consistent. Okay, so now let's go back to the big or core question. How does Gara initialize its object? So here I have prepared one simple code in which this in Gara, this is just the same as class persegi with the parameter panjang and lebar, and then ini dot panjang equals to panjang is the same as this dot panjang equals to panjang and this dot lebar equals to lebar. And then ada kotak equals to persegi for 5. It's just the same as let kotak equals to persegi for 5. Now when writing this code, I need you to have this in mind, like how does Gara know that we are calling a class? how does Gara know that we want to create a new object, and how does Gara even know that it should assign the object to a variable named kotak? It may look simple in the outside, but there's a full process happening behind in the insides, and I'll take you through it. Okay, so first thing, it will enter the interpreter, in which I make it concise and make it into 3 main points. The first point is the lexer or the lexing. It split the raw code into tokens. After that, it will enter the parsing section, in which the token we have obtained just now, it will be organized into an AST or abstract syntax tree. And then last, we will enter the evaluator section, in which it will execute that AST to produce the results. Okay, now maybe an analogical of cooking, you may think of lexer or lexing is a process of chopping out the ingredients, parsing is like arranging the recipe steps, and evaluation is doing the cooking itself. Okay, let's first discuss about lexing. Now, this is very straightforward. It basically just reads the code character by character and turns it into list of tokens. For example, I have this line of ada kotak equals to persegi 4, 5. It will be converted into this. Let ident kotak, ident is maybe like the object, and assign is the equal sign, and then persegi the object again. L parent is the left or open parenthesis, integer 4, comma, 5, integer 5, and right or close parenthesis. So it is very straightforward in the lexing section. Moving up to the parsing section, it will convert token into AST or abstract syntax tree. Now, what is AST and why do we need to make it AST? So AST stands for abstract syntax tree. It is a tree-shaped data structure that represents the logical structure of the code. And it also removes all unnecessary details like parentheses, semicolons, and formatting, and focus more on the semantic meaning of the code. Okay, so why do we need to use AST? It's because AST allows the interpreter to navigate the structure of our code in a more flexible and logical way. And in this section, it will basically just read the token all one by one, like until the end of file, and then it will arrange all to AST. And this is the example of the AST or abstract syntax tree. So this is the function named persegi, and then the arguments or the parameters named panjang and lebar, and it will assign the value of 4 and 5. Okay, so after doing all the process, we finally enter the last section, which is the evaluator section. Inside this, first, if we reference from our earlier code, it will search for the persegi object and its value in the environment. And then in eval expression, it will evaluate the arguments. In this case, it is 4 and 5. After that, it will confirm whether or not persegi is a class or other types of object. After confirming it is a class, it will first create a new environment for the object and assigns the value of 4 and 5 to panjang and lebar respectively. After that, it will run the class body and returns the object to persegi. After that, it will store the persecute object into the class object, and that is how the class object is initialized through every process and every steps. So maybe let me recap the whole process in a short way. So first, you of course need to write the code, and then the lexer will break it into tokens, and the parser builds an SAT from the token. And lastly, the evaluator walks through that SAT AST, and it will create and store the object inside the memory. Okay, maybe that's all I can share. Thank you for listening, and hope this helped you get a better understanding about how Gara initialize object. Thank you.